Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is your health and education alert for Wednesday, December 1st, 2021, brought to you by the Kayannus Consulting Group, your source for breaking news, information, and commentary to all designed to assist you and not only surviving, but also thriving in both life and career. Greetings, I am Dr. Jamel D. Carter, the President and CEO of the Kayannus Consulting Group, where we are a full service management and educational consulting practice where we assist organizations like yours align human capital with organizational strategy. We have a variety of services available to you and your team, such as executive coaching, human resources and organizational development consulting, market research, intensive boot camps such as our nonprofit formation, business growth, grant writing, fundraising, and advancement. In addition, we offer growth circles. These are intimate groups for leaders to come together for professional development, peer encouragement, and up-to-date best practices and research. We recommend that you join a growth circle today. We have growth circles for CEOs, entrepreneurs, pastors, executive directors, and educational leaders. As stated, this is your business alert for Wednesday, December 1st. Your source for breaking news, information, and trends, all designed to assist you in thriving in both life and career. I invite you to like, follow, subscribe, comment, and share. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Parler at Dr. JD Carter. That is DRJD Carter, CARTER. So opening up, there were several interesting stories that came out in concerning the world of health, and that umbrella that I'm using for health is biotech, pharmaceuticals, as well, when I'm discussing things that are happening in health that you should pay attention to. Apollo Health Ventures, which is a venture capitalist group, has positioned itself to place a fresh round of bets on age-related disease biotechs. The company, or the venture capital group, has raised $180 million to funnel into companies targeting everything from cardiovascular conditions to neurodegenerative diseases. Why I think this $180 million is important: research and development cost. And I think when you're looking at venture capitalists groups, you're taking a risk. But one of the things I think we all have heard, health is wealth. And I think as people age, everyone seems to have a desire to want to live longer. And so I think the investment of $180 million to funnel into organizations that are targeting age-related diseases, I do think that this is a wise move, as people are seeking solutions to issues that appear when people are aging. But also I do think with $180 million, that is a lot of money. But also when you're a venture capitalist, there's no guarantee that where you're putting your money is going to be successful. But you really just need one blockbuster drug, one blockbuster vaccine. And I'm sure that that's what Apollo Health Ventures leadership team is thinking, that if they can find one, they may be able to weather or recoup the $180 million that they are investing. The Food and Drug Administration has granted priority review to AstraZeneca's supplemental new drug application for Lynparza, which is treating high-risk breast cancer patients. Once again, I think there are some similarities with this in the first story. The good news for AstraZeneca, I do think that this opens up an opportunity for them to reap some benefits for research and development costs that they have placed in developing this drug. We do know that breast cancer is a major issue in America. There are many women that die annually from breast cancer. And if you have a product that can treat high risk breast cancer in patients, I do think that this has the potential to provide AstraZeneca a return on investment. So it's going to be interesting to see if it reaps, if they recoup the money they have invested. But this is something that you need to be aware of. There may be another option for individuals that are suffering from high risk breast cancer. French healthcare company Sanofi on today announced that it will buy Austrian group Origin Biotechnology, a move that will add a potential first-in-class vaccine candidate to treat acne in its pipeline. I just had to share this story. I remember when I was a teenager, and I think like many teenagers, when you're going through hormonal changes, you do develop acne. But now it appears as though our pharmaceutical and our biotech companies are trying to develop a vaccine so teenagers will not have to experience acne. I think that this is a very interesting move. I do think the awkwardness of having acne does help people develop resilience and persistence. But there is a chance that in several years, teenagers will not have to go through the phase of having to deal with acne. I'm not sure if this is going to be something that's going to be mandated. I do hope that this will be an elective vaccine. But I do think that this is a smart positioning on Sanofi's part. If they can be the first in class with an acne vaccine, I'm sure that they will recoup the money that they're going to make from the purchase of this company. There has not been any indication in terms of how much the financials are concerning this deal. I do think they're saying that it's probably going to close by the end of this month. So that information should be forthcoming. LeBron James, Los Angeles Laker player, has tested positive for COVID-19, and he will miss several games as he's now in health and safety protocols. News did surface that LeBron is vaccinated, but I do think we are all aware right now that just because one is vaccinated does not mean that they're not going to be able to contract COVID-19. We do wish him a speedy recovery, and we do hope him and his family are safe as they deal with this COVID-19 situation that has hit them at their home. Moving to the world of education, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has strengthened its recommendation on further COVID-19 vaccinations, raising the possibility that colleges as well as other organizations may begin requiring booster shots. Speaking in terms of the world of higher education, I personally do not think that this is a wise move. Why do I not think that this is a wise move? It's plain and simple. I do think we do know that these vaccines were developed. There has not been any true long-term studies concerning these vaccines. I do think you may have some people that were okay with getting the vaccine, but I do think it may be problematic if you're now going to be requiring people to get an annual booster or a booster every 6 months concerning this vaccine, because I do think you're going to have some people that are going to be hesitant in terms of what consistently taking this vaccine may do to their long-term health. So I will say, if you're in the C-suite, as a president, as a chancellor, as a board of trustee member, this is something that you're going to have to weigh when you're making these decisions. I also think that it may be too early for college level leadership to go down this direction, because I'm not sure we truly know what the current vaccine mandates are going to do to enrollment. Definitely, we do know that there are several colleges and universities that have implemented vaccine mandates, but we're still seeing, I guess you say, a decline in enrollment figures and numbers. So I think once there's probably indication as to how colleges and universities are going to pan out when it comes to enrollment after spring, going into summer and fall, if the decline remains, I say that it's probably not a good decision to require booster shots. If you're starting to see an uptick, then you may want to go with recommending or mandating booster shots. One of the things I also think why this may be problematic, there's also some indication that the current vaccines may not work on the new Omicron variant of COVID. So I think if you're mandating people get a booster for a variant that current research is indicating may not be effective, that may not be the way to go. Moving to the state of Nebraska, 2 state senators are calling for University of Nebraska at Lincoln Chancellor Ronnie Green to step down following the announcement of a new plan on diversity and inclusion. I think we in America are well aware that our nation has a checkered past when it comes to racial relations. There are some that seek to capitalize on our past and exploit it for political wins. I will say that what can help us when we're talking about diversity, equity, inclusion, anti-racism behavior is exposure to various opinions and beliefs. I think that should be part of the college going experience, because I do think many people grow up in very homostasis type environments where there's a lot of sameness in terms of beliefs. And I do think if you're looking at making a change happen, it will be beneficial for people to seek exposure of different groups. But I do think it's going to be problematic if every time leaders are willing to take a risk and institute such policies, if there's consistent blowback, I don't think we'll get to a point where we can truly have an understanding or empathy for groups that do not look, sound, or dress like us. I think in order for that growth to occur, we have to be willing to be uncomfortable. The thing that I think is important to note, these are 2 state senators. It's not like the state senators have the political wherewithal or ability to make this a reality. I think this is something they're trying to do to score political points. So hopefully for them, they're hoping that they can benefit in terms of election season. But hopefully the chancellor at the University of Nebraska at Lincoln will keep the backbone and stand by the plan and strategy he's trying to implement there at that institution. Information came out that Kyle Rittenhouse, who was recently acquitted, is no longer a student at Arizona State University. It was revealed that he was taking online classes at Arizona State University. This was something that he commented on, in an interview. There are some things that I think it'll be very interesting when looking at this. Part of it is, does the fact that he was a student, yes, he put it out there with the university confirming it. Does that make that a FERPA violation, that people were well aware that Mr. Rittenhouse was enrolled at Arizona State University? I would say, probably not. But I do think Arizona State University wanted to manage their brand. I do think, yes, Mr. Rittenhouse was acquitted, but I do think they're probably thinking having such a student, high-profile student enrolled at their university may be a brand hit. So maybe them managing the brand was critical for them. One of the things I think it's important to note, unlike community colleges that tend to be open access institutions, four-year universities are a little bit more selective when it comes to their student population. So, they can pick and choose whom they allow to enroll in their organization. There's no indication whether or not this was something that Arizona State University mandated in terms of Kyle, disenrolling or dropping out of their university, or if this was something that he elected to do on his own. But what we do know, he was once a student at Arizona State University, and now he's no longer a student there. Moving to inspirational quotes, there are two inspirational quotes that I would like to share with you on this evening. The first one is, life is not about waiting for the storms to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. And this is from Vivian Green. One of the things that is critical to note is that we're going to have ups and downs, highs and lows in our lives, but we must be willing. We must have the ability to celebrate and enjoy our triumphs as well as our defeats. I think if we have that glass half full mentality, we can come to the realization that even though we may be failing in this moment, in the end, it's going to be worth our good because the storm shall pass. And then Maria Robinson once said, nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending. And when I look at this quote, I think it's important that we as individuals put in the effort each day. We can't change what happened yesterday, but we can make sure that our end is something that's beneficial for all of us. In terms of something to encourage you, don't allow the limits set by others to entrap you. By following and pursuing your dreams, you no longer allow others to tell you what is possible. You show them that your imagination has the ability to create a world beyond the limits they have set around you. And then a leadership question that I think you may want to ask yourself is really, are you willing to put in the time? Are you willing to do the work? Put in the sweat equity? No matter what you're working on, your team deserves you to take risks. Your team deserves you to have a willingness to upset the status quo. If you're not willing to upset the status quo and put in the work, there's no need to pursue career progression, long-term career progression. Also, as we close out, I do want you to know that the Kayannus Consulting Group is available to help your organization in conducting executive searches. If you're looking for your next C-suite professional, reach out to us. We are willing to work with you and making sure you hire the best candidate available. The Kayannus Consulting Group has a team of consultants and coaches that are here to assist you in aligning your human capital with organizational strategy. For a no-fee consultation, please contact our offices at 1-800-418-5350. Once again, our number 1-800-418-5350. I hope you have found this health and education news alert to be beneficial to you and your team. Hopefully, you will take some of the insight gleaned from this and apply it to your day-to-day operations there with your company. Our prayer is that God will shine upon you, that he will continue to send clients and customers your way from the north, south, east, and west. May you and your family continue to go from blessings to greater blessings. Be blessed until next time. Take care.